And welcome back to the show. My very special guest is the author of Sweet Freedom, a weight loss memoir. And my special guest's name is Teresa Shields Parker. And she is also the author of Sweet Grace, How I Lost 250 Pounds. Wow, what an accomplishment. Will you help me to welcome to Babbie's house, Teresa Shields Parker. It's good to have you on the show, Teresa.
Thank you, Babbie.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Wow, what a journey.
Yes.
You've written several books that kind of play together in a theme, but this is your latest book called Sweet Freedom, and then we'll talk about the others as we go along in our conversation. But what a remarkable accomplishment. And talk about freedom. I mean, shedding 250 pounds is that's a lot of weight to bear and then to shed. I want us to talk about the story, a little bit about the before, and talk about what that was like, and maybe some of the emotions that you were experiencing. Talk to me about how you were living and how you were feeling at that time.
You know, when you start just gaining weight, tremendous amount of weight, you don't really, it kind of just, you don't all of a sudden get to be 430 pounds. Wow. That just doesn't happen overnight, you know. So it's a process.
Yes, it gradually creeps up on you.
Yeah, and you don't really realize it at the time until it keeps going and going. And then, you know, I was trying all these yo-yo diet kind of things, you know, where I would lose a lot of weight. I've lost 100 pounds probably 5 to 10 times in my life. Oh yeah, lose the weight, gain it back plus more. Lose the weight, gain it back plus more. So, you know, I'm an intelligent person, right? You know, I know that my weight is precluding me from a lot of things. You know, it's harming my health. A lot of things are happening. You know, I went into the hospital at one point, and the cardiac surgeon had told me I needed a mitral valve replacement. And he went and he did the angiogram and everything. He comes back into my room and he says, you don't need heart surgery. Your heart was never designed to pump blood through a body of your size. You need to lose 100 pounds at least and keep it off, or you will die in 5 years. And he walked out of the room.
Just like that?
Yeah. I say a rude cardiac surgeon helped save my life. Because it was, you know, of course I know that I'm really large. I want to lose weight. I want to look nice. I want to be able to fit into normal size clothes. I don't want to have to, you know, always say table instead of booth at a restaurant, you know, because booth, I couldn't fit into a booth. I'd have to have a chair at the end of the booth. It just wouldn't work for me. You know, couldn't fit through certain places, you know, always scared of going into some place like a cave or something that, you know, I might not be able to walk through a small space, you know, if I were going with my family or something. So a lot of things I was held back from doing.
And this was just impacting your life.
Yeah.
And your lifestyle, your way of living.
Yeah. And so, you know, at that point in time, you know, when you're told that, though, by somebody important, somebody who knows something, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
Like a cardiac doctor.
Yeah, of course, doctors, your regular doctor, my regular doctor would always talk to me about weight, give me one of those little handouts that says how to lose, you know, how to diet. I know how to diet, okay? I'm a really good dieter, really good at that. It's just keeping it off once I got to that point, because I would always stop eating sugar for the time of the diet, and then I would start again, you know, reward myself for losing the weight. And then once I started eating it again, I was gone. I am a sugar addict. I know that full well. That's, you know, when I came to that decision of knowing I'm a sugar addict,
yes, that
was what turned things around for me. But hearing him say that was my come to Jesus moment, really. I mean, I'm a Christian, of course, but it was like, okay, you know what? I've got to do something here. At that time, I had, I think my daughter was 8, my son was 15.
Oh, wow. So you had small children, or young children at home.
Yeah. And, you know, it's like, I know my husband could take care of them, and my son was old enough that he would be fine, but my daughter, you know.
Yes, of course. So when you had this revelatory moment, after this short but impactful meeting with your doctor, and then you realize, I've got to do something. So
Yeah.
what happened next? What happened after that?
Well, then I went on one of my diets again, and I lost weight, and I'm telling myself, I've got to keep it off this time. But I still was in my old way of doing things, and so even though I'd lost the 100 pounds, then, you know, weight started creeping up. He had also told me you need gastric bypass surgery. He said that's the only way you're going to lose the weight. And so when the weight started creeping up, I investigated that again. I did actually have gastric bypass, and guess what? Same thing happened to me with gastric bypass.
Even with gastric bypass?
With gastric
And what
bypass.
that is they reduce your stomach, or they
Yes.
somehow
Yeah.
reduce the capacity of food that you can actually eat?
They physically reduce your stomach, and so it's not a physical issue, I'm telling you. It's not a physical issue. It's
It's
a
in your
head
mind, it's in your...
and a heart issue. And when I got, I lost weight, and I got to a point where I figured out that I could, you know, begin to eat sugar again. You cannot eat sugar like for about the first year for me. I couldn't eat sugar because it made me physically sick, and that's part of the process of this, of gastric bypass, is it does that. You just can't tolerate the sugar. But then I found out I could start eating candy one at a time. I could eat candy, and so that's what I started doing. Buy the bagfuls.
Oh my.
Just eat the candy. I mean, I'm a true sugar addict. I mean, it's just, you know, but I didn't know it at the time.
Sure. You were learning a lot about
Yes,
yourself.
I was learning who, you know, what my issue was. And so then when you know, my weight went back up to morbid obesity, and I'm like, I've got to do, I've greatly altered my body. Certain minerals I can't absorb, and because of the bypass and because of what it does to your body. And, you know, what am I going to do now? How, you know, this is not going to be good for me if I try, you know, if I continue to gain weight. And a friend that I know was starting a group called Harmful Life Patterns Group. And there were others in there with other problems like alcoholism and drugs and pornography and that kind of thing, and some of us with weight issues. And he told his testimony. He's a sober alcoholic for now, I think, maybe 30 years. And he was telling his testimony about that. And in the middle of the testimony, he said, alcohol is one molecule away from sugar. Alcohol is liquid sugar. And that was it. That was my moment of change. It was like my life was a magnetic puzzle, and all of the pieces snapped together in that moment. And it was like, wow, that's me. I know that's me. I don't even know if it's a thing. I don't even know if you can be a sugar addict. Yeah.
So that's my question, is that you were able to put a name to your issue and understand that you are a sugar addict.
Yeah.
And then what happened? What was the impetus that actually helped you to turn this whole thing around, of course, with the help of God?
Yes. Well, I started going to his group, and in the group he talked about stop-start, which is a thing where you have your brain has a neural pathway, and it's already, your neural pathways are already established of what you do. Like you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth. Whatever it is, you have a neural pathway. And you can overwrite that, but you can't stop it. It's like a shortcut on a computer or something like that. It helps you function in life. And so we all have neural pathways we've established, and I had definitely established one that about sugar was going to solve all my problems. It was going to make me, you know, I look at it like this. I didn't want to be high. I didn't want to be low. I wanted to be
Maintain.
Right here. I didn't want to be angry because, you know, as Christians, we're not supposed to be angry. So, you know, I could assuage any problem with food, and it would work for a while. But then, you know, you would have this high surge of sugar in your system, and it's solving all of your issues, and you're fine. And then you crash with sugar. Well, when you crash, then it's just like any other addiction. You need more the next time to maintain that same level. And so it's an ongoing, continual cycle that the devil has pulled us into and captured us with. So stop-start is, I stop the bad, I start the good in its place. So I put firm boundaries around my stop, and I focus on my start. And so I have habits, bad habits that I want to stop. I have good habits that I want to start. I'm going to use the same neural pathway. I'm just going to change it. And that's going to help me to have not just a diet, but a long-term, sustained, healthy living lifestyle. And knowing the support is there from God. So my favorite scripture is 2 Corinthians 12:9, and in the Message it says, my grace is all you need. It's enough. My strength is made complete in your weakness. My weakness and my limitation is sugar.
So this is something that you just, and we all, not just you, but we all have to walk out, not just day by day, not just moment by moment, but step by step.
Yes, yeah, it's a moment by moment thing. It's a choice. I live a fasted lifestyle. That's how I look at it.
You live a
fasted lifestyle.
And what does that mean?
It means I give up processed sugar and flour. That combination together is, the comfort food combination is, the thing that throws me over the edge. And all of that has to do with that gets into some of the things with Sweet Freedom, because, then you understand the roots of this. Why are you doing this?
Yes.
What are your roots that make you want?
The causes.
Yeah, that make you want to do this. Because I'm going well on my journey, and then things will happen like,
like a trigger.
Yeah.
That will get you back on the old path.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, Teresa Shields Parker, when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about this and some other books that you've written that have also are stories or chronicle your life and your lifestyle that have helped so many other people. When we come back, we're going to talk more with Teresa Parker and her phenomenal God story, this beautiful path God has taken her on. I know it's going to help us all. When we come back, we'll talk more with Teresa Parker here on Babbie's House. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
We are war veterans,
and firefighters,
mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters.
and kids that play,
Each of us has experienced unimaginable pain, had countless surgeries and skin grafts.
and emerge stronger.
We are burn survivors.
If you're one of us, please know you're not alone.
There's an army of friends waiting to help you recover, renew, and return. Please support the Phoenix Society for Burn Survivors and help someone rise again. Visit phoenix-society.org for more information.
Many grown-ups believe adopting a child from foster care is expensive. It's not. They also believe that children in foster care are juvenile delinquents. They're not. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid ready to be adopted. For the facts about adopting a child from foster care, contact the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to the show. Today I'm talking with Teresa Shields Parker. She is the author of Sweet Freedom, her story, a weight loss memoir of how she lost 250 pounds and kept it off with God's help. There was a book that has actually started it all, your first book in this series called Sweet Grace. But before we talk about that, Teresa, we have some before and after pictures that I would like for our viewers to see. And some powerful comparisons of your life before and your life after this tremendous weight loss. This is a powerful accomplishment, praise God. Well, your book called Sweet Grace, what was this was like the book that started it all, so what inspired this? Well, I know what inspired it, but what was it that made you sit down and say, hey, I have got to write this book so that I can help other people?
God actually almost literally tapped me on the shoulder and said, now's the time. Now's the time to write the book. And I'm like, what book? Because I'm a journalist by trade. I've always wanted to write a book. But I thought it would be a biography of somebody famous, but I never knew that it would be my own story. And I had lost, by that time, 240 pounds. And he said, now's the time. And I saw the book laid out in the heavens. This particular book, beginning, middle, end, inciting incident, climax, anticlimax, and I'm thinking, is this a fiction book? And no, it was a memoir, but I was to write it in story form, and so, you know, and tell my story like that, and so that's what I did. I'm very transparent in that book.
You have also inspired other people to take this journey, and you tell some of their stories as well. Can you just tap on one of those? We're almost out of time in just a couple of minutes, but I do want our viewers to hear maybe a story that somebody who's been helped because of you.
You know, one lady, Rhonda, I started a coaching group called Sweet Change Coaching Group, and my other book, True Stories of Transformation, is named Sweet Change. And Rhonda came into the group, and she came in after reading Sweet Grace, understanding she was a sugar addict. She had also been had been a sober alcoholic for many years as well, so she knew the connection between alcohol and sugar. She immediately got that. And so she came into my coaching group, she read Sweet Grace, and she's like a short woman, and she lost 60 pounds, she's lost 60 pounds. And she tells her story in there about how really that whole thing of alcohol being one molecule away from sugar was really powerful for her to understand, and to also understand that it worked for someone else, and that God is and can be the one to lead us forward on that journey, that he wants us healthy, body, soul, and spirit. It's not just about our spirit, although it is important, you know, that is important too, but what we do with our bodies and to our bodies and in our bodies is really important to God.
Yes. How can our viewers get more information? Is there a website?
Yes, teresashieldsparker.com. And I've got free chapters of every book on that website. I've even got a chapter I left out of Sweet Freedom called Self-Sufficiency is on that on the website, and also a free video, #KickSugar, is a 10-video course that they can get there as well.
Very good. And where do you all live?
Columbia, Missouri.
Okay, Columbia, Missouri. And all of this is on your website?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, very good. Well, thank you so very much for being our guest today on Babbie's House. And praise God for your powerful, wonderful accomplishment. And you know, the Bible tells us that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. And this is a huge mountain that a lot of us are having to climb. And this is a great source of encouragement. So thank you for being on our show today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And to you, dear viewer, thank you so very much for watching Babbie's House today. You know, we always want to encourage you in your walk, in your journey, and to bring people like Teresa Shields Parker on to encourage you in your walk, not just spiritually, but as she said, physically, emotionally, financially, relationally, all of those ways. Will you do me a favor today, and while you're online checking out her website, check out our website as well at Babbie There at Babbie.com, you'll find out a lot about our ministry, that we are a Christian ministry. We live to sing the praises of God. I write, I sing, I teach Bible studies for women. All of those resources are available there at Babbie.com. There's also a link there to our internet radio station at BabbieMasonRadio.com, an internet radio station where we celebrate, we sing the praises of the independent artists. So if you're a singer or a songwriter, you want to get your music out there, check out Babbie Mason Radio. Well, the Lord bless you today, and thank you for joining me here on Babbie's House. We love you. We're praying for you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.